Well, in this session, we will try to connect leadership with emotional intelligence. So, let us examine, there are 4 aspects of leadership here. So, leadership behavior and leaders characteristics, putting the leader characteristics in the framework of emotional intelligence, and how the environment influence, examining the relationship between these two and how it leads to followers empowerment. So, when you look at the environment or the situations, it looks into the leader's vision, missions, innovation, creativity, quality service, cost, network, technological savvy, customer orientations, learning organizations, fast and flexible organizations. But can all this possible without a intersection or interaction, good interaction between the organizational environment and emotional intelligence competencies of its people? So, let us examine. So, this slide summarizes about the leaders' behavior, their relationship, followers' ability, and the environmental situations. Now, the second question is that what leadership behavior constitutes? Leadership behavior always focuses on establishing and communicating vision, inspiring people, and instilling pride. So, if you examine the different domains of emotional intelligence dimensions, vision is reflected also in virtues and values. A person should have outlook. We discussed these things also in terms of assessing EQ values and beliefs in EQ mapping profiles, where people try to communicate the organization's vision and missions. People inspire people, building trust, loyalty. So, that is why we also assess interpersonal trust, which can be instrumental in inculcating pride in people, and this in turn is going to build a strong relationship. As a result of this, it is going to build a strong interpersonal relationship between leaders and followers. It will create a scope for mutual learning and exchange of information. They will accommodate each other for their better survival in organizations. And what about the message for the followers? Followers will be in the process, will be empowered once their vision is communicated to them. So, the process will facilitate and they will get coaching to move forward and giving up the control mechanism. Instead of controlling too much, if you will accommodate people in organizations, and that will create a better closeness among the leaders and followers to achieve organizational goals. But in terms of environmental situation, what will happen? The leader is scanning both the socio-economic and legal environment and accordingly building vision and mission for the organizations. And the leader always think in the strategic ways how to deliver organizational products in terms of maybe introducing new actions, new technologies, new innovative ideas. So, this is how when a leader feels that yes, the organization needs some transformations, because when he scan the whole perspective compared to what is happening outside. So, then the leader automatically feels there is a change required in organization on the structural and functional basis. The advantages are here that the common understanding of mission and vision or values can initiate the wholesale change process. Second is when you accommodate people, different needs of subordinates can elicit superior work from different type of peoples. You came to know who needs what. Development of follower capabilities, free of leader for other responsibility. When you develop, empower your own employees, leader does not want to go to the workplace. So, they will be so empowered, they will carry out their own activities. So, that is why one needs to empower its followers for developing their capabilities to perform their daily activities. Then business survival in competitive environment. When your people are competent to deal with the challenges of the business, you deliver a better business results. So, that is the overall outcome of the environmental situations as a whole. But when we put under this 5 important framework of emotional intelligence, the persons who is well aware is able to create self-confidence, realistic assessment, and self-depreciating sense of humor. So, as a result, you can take charge of your own employees. Self-regulations, ability to control and redirect disruptive impulses and moods. The moment you control your own negative behaviors, and it is also results in the propensity to suspend judgment, to think before acting. So, now you do not react instantly, you think thrice before acting. So, as a result, you create hope, you generate hope in the minds of others, that leads towards trustworthiness and building integrity among people, that yes, he is not an autocratic leader, he can influence us by creating fear in our mind, he is a trustworthy leader. So, that kind of mindsets needs to be developed. And yes, conformity with ambiguity, you needs to understand that there is no ambiguity in the minds of others, that what you are trying to communicate them, and openness to change. If you self-regulate, you will be open to experience any kind of change, you can easily embrace change from outside. So, therefore, a leader needs to nurture these kind of qualities in order to enhance his self-regulation capacities in organization. Third, the motivational ability of the leader can be improved if he develops a passion to work for reasons that go beyond money or status. It is not that you can motivate your people by the help of giving them money, or if you work hard, I will pay more money. Money never works, that works up to a certain point. But yes, there are certain situations where people want recognition, they want respect, they want to live with honor. So, there they need appreciation, they seek non-tangible rewards, they known to be a good worker in the organization. So, that is why nowadays people are assessing every week and putting them tag good performer, star performer, employee of the week. So, that adds value to their motivations. So, this creates a zeal or strong drive to achieve, it creates optimism in the face of failure, and it also enhances their organizational commitment. As a leader, if you exercise empathy, what will happen? Empathy is nothing but the ability to understand the emotional makeup of your people. So, once you understand the emotional state of your people, you can quickly adjust to different environments. So, he is a person from down south, he is a person from north, he is a person from West Bengal, he wants fish in the canteen. Now, a person from down south, he wants vada and sambar, and a person from top of the hills wants paratha. So, how you can manage varieties of people's needs in the same setups. So, this kind of people. So, when you are empathic towards, yes, do not worry, there will be food available for every one of you. Okay, let us have today sambar vada. In the afternoon or in the lunch, we will have something common for all. Then in the evening, in the dining table, we may have paratha or something else. So, this is how a emotionally intelligent leader adjusts with different complex situations. Yes, social skills also is equally important. It refers to one's proficiency in managing relationship and building networks. We often see in an organization that 50% of a job is done at our interpersonal level, even if you are not competent enough to do a particular job. How? If you have good relations, interpersonal relations, you can hire a talent from other divisions, you can hire talent from other organizations. So, that is how your problem is solved at the level of collaborations, inter-organization. This is called inter-organizational collaborations. Emotionally intelligent leader is very effective in collaborative skills or in inter-organizational collaborations. So, therefore, social skills is very much important for organizational success and also mobilizing organizational resources. If you have a good interpersonal relationship with your co-workers, is your fellow mates in the organizations, you will be able to easily convince them about organizational issues. So it brings effectiveness in leading change, persuading people, and developing expertise in building and leading teams. So these are certain, these 5 important skills can bring, these kind of results in the organizations. Yes, when you interpret leaders as change catalyst, why they are called change catalyst? Because they bring change in organization, they build visions. Characteristics of catalysts are change markers, are otherwise known as transformational leaders. We have conducted a number of research and also published that there is a direct relationship. EI directly predicts or influence transformational leadership. Right? Who are transformational? Transformational leaders are those who can inspire others, those who can influence ideologies, values, take risk. So these kind of peoples are called the transformational leaders. They can innovate, focus on people, inspire trust, look for long range perspectives, and ask what and why, and does the right things. So these kind of leaders are basically visionary leaders, holistic viewers. They understand from all perspectives. They are team builders, they are missionary, frontal leaders. They lead at the front, inspiring others. They educate others for others empowerment. They are the role model, they good learners, risk takers. They are very generous with appreciation. This is one of the important qualities of transformational leaders. They are generous with appreciation for others. So this is where I say that EI meets leadership. To make it emotionally intelligent leader. Why I say it? Because it fulfills all the characteristics and core competencies of emotional intelligence. This is how, if once you are generous and appreciative of others, you express care, concern, and commitment towards others. And these 3 are very, very vital for making emotional impact, on others in organizations, and that is where it holds an enduring impact. And that is why leadership becomes more effective than other style of leadership. In addition to that, it acts as a change agent. So transformational leaders always think to transfer organizations by implementing new change, new ideas, new actions, new products. Then they are intellectual stimulator. They always experiment with intellectual ideas. That's why they are change makers. And ethical orientation, this is also one of the important characteristics of emotionally intelligent leader. They are also to great extent ethical leaders. They practice ethics, because this is authenticity. These are the characteristics: authenticity, trust, and integrity. These three important EQ values we discussed in the framework of EQ mapping, which are the hallmark of emotionally intelligent leadership. Emotionally intelligent leadership. So, gradually we are trying to sum up these sessions, that how we are interlinking different emotional intelligence characteristics to the framework of leadership and making it a emotionally intelligent leadership framework. So, therefore, this oriental ethical orientation, all these characteristics starting from visionary to ethical orientations make up the EQ framework for leadership. So, this is where we are discussing about how Nurturant, why we talk about Nurturant-Task leadership in Indian context, because mapping the characteristics of Indian employees, a dependency, preference for hierarchy, personalized relationship and lack of commitment, preference for RM culture. In India there always exists a culture of RM. So, I have seen very rarely people doing work in time. They never do work in time, because there is still time, don't worry. So, they never finish even before time. And personalized relationship, they bring to workplace. Personal relationship is more important than work and job responsibility. That is why I said that Indian workplace is more emotional than rational. Personal relationship means they spend half of their time in social loafing. So, what is social loafing? Gossip, talking about family affairs. How is your son? How is your daughter? Are they well settled now? If they are well settled, how many of them have got married? If they are married, where they are now living? How many kids they have? What those kids are doing? Complete total history till the time is not finished. They keep on gossiping. And what about their work? So, that means out of your personal discussions, your work suffers. So, this is where we call how social loafing affect work behavior. Work behavior in Indian workplace. And everybody's intention, the moment they enter to workplace, they wants to get close to whom? The big boss. So, what is the importance of getting close to big boss? So that once they build up their personal relations, then on the basis of personal relations they will take undue advantage. Undue advantage means they will manipulate promotional criteria. Sir, I have been doing so much work for you, why can't you help me out in this regard? So, they will also create undue excuses. Undue excuses. I have seen very often many people coming in government organs, coming to organization, never in time. They will be today they will be late because boss left. Sir, I missed the first bus. Next time I missed the second bus. Sir, my family is now in big trouble. My wife is not okay, suffering from fever. So many excuses. So, since you are close to the big boss, then because okay, it's all right. And it's not actually all right. The relaxation you are taking at the cost of your own work. So, your work is suffering. So, that is why the Jebib Sinha, the person who come up with this theory, he said, okay, there is also another technique that these people can be also sorted out. What is that technique? Now, let's be nonchalant about them. Nonchalant means you are caring, but at the same time you should be daring. Put them under task. I will give promotion, but at the same time please take care of my work. So, one side you take care of them, caring and concern, other side you become a taskmaster. So, like the way I said, Rishi Modi, when the employee union is on strike, they were demanding for extra bonus because Holi was coming up. Bengal people are very crazy about playing Holi. So Tata Steel in Jamshedpur, mostly that time dominated by Bengali people, and you can imagine that time during mid 80s or beginning of 90s, Rishi Modi was the managing director. And when management denied the extra bonus, the employees went on strike. No work if it is not given. They are so emotional. It's not only Bengali, all Indian. You go to even Onam, during Onam, even South Indians, they demand heavy bonus in the factories. If you go to even in Northeast, there are also some rituals they celebrate. If it is not given, the tea garden stops functioning. So this is the usual typical behavior of Indians. But Rishi Modi, one side he fulfilled by giving, okay, I will give you double bonus, but I have one condition. What is that, sir? Now you all have to work 1 hour extra for next 3 months. No problem, 1 hour is nothing, but you give us extra bonus. So this is how we call them emotional full. One side you are fulfilling, other side you are doubling their task. So both are at the benefits. So that is why hit the iron when it is hot. So one needs to understand, it is not exactly hit the iron when it is hard. You need to understand the temperament, the attitude, the emotional state of your peoples. That is why I say this Nurturant-Task leadership will be very effective. You cannot say them that I am the leader, I am the boss of the organization, go and work, otherwise I will suspend. How many people will suspend? If you will suspend everybody, again your organization is in chaos. So autocratic leadership will not survive. So that is where we try to implement that. Yes, this nurturant style is because you are emotionally intelligent, you have care, concern about others. So you are also exercising the emotional intelligence competencies. Ethical leadership is also somehow related to moral leadership. We have tried to examine the moral leadership and emotional intelligence, and we have observed a very direct relationship. One of my research scholar, Shantanu Majumdar, he is my first research scholar. He is right now working in KMC, Kolkata Municipal Corporation. He conducted his first PhD research work on moral intelligence, emotional impact of emotional intelligence and moral intelligence on transformational leadership and ethical leadership also. So these ethical characteristics of a transformational leader is directly related to each other. So therefore, we presume that anybody who is an effective leader always believe in the ethical perspectives. So no leadership could be effective without authenticity. That is why we emphasize the ethical leadership. So if you look in this diagram, it shows the inner core competencies of a leader, that should where the values and virtues of the leadership relies on. Here you exercises the power of intuition. Intuition plays a very important role in the exercise of leadership behavior. Even we examine also intuition is one of the important characteristics of emotional intelligence in the framework of EQ mapping. EQ map. Why it is important? Because we have already discussed that IQ and EQ are just like our head and heart. Here, this is all our intuitive capacity, intuitive ideas generates from. Intuitive ideas are generated by our heart feelings. We often call it as our God feelings. So we often say that one should give importance to his God feelings. People often say that, yesterday I saw a dream that I have certain hunch that I think these are certain possibilities to solve our organizational problems. Many times many creative ideas comes through dreams, and these dreams is nothing but our reflection of our intuitive ideas, reflections of our intuition. or intuitive ideas, and they are the product of our heart feelings, or what you call the gut feelings. Not these are not these are the rational core, hardcore intellectual or cognitive feeling, cognitive ideas. But when these intuitive feelings are systematized, they give us that is where we call innovation or innovative ideas. So, there is a direct relationship between EI and innovation or creativity. Yes, that is why we often label that are EI leaders. So, out of this discussion we can also question, are EI leaders creative, or are the creative leaders? Are EI leaders moral? Are EI leaders ethical? Yes, the answer is yes, because they believe in virtues and values, they believe in right and wrong, they practice fairness in organizations. So, that is where even we have also seen, I have not come across any such research, maybe there may be certain research, that what is the relationship between EI and organizational justice. Justice, particularly in procedural justice. So, do people follow appropriate procedures for providing fairness or fair justice? But yes, out of this discussion we can conclude that emotionally intelligent leaders are to great extent are creative, they are moral agents, they practice ethics, so they can also be considered ethical leaders. Power of intellect, and they use a lot of power, intellectual power and logical power. They exercise effective organizational leadership. Yes, the power of interconnectivity is one of the important domain. What is that interconnectivity? EI and power of interconnectivity. So, this is very important to understand in the framework of EI and leadership. EI and leadership. So, what is that interconnectivity? Intuition, intellect and their intersections. So, intuition generates ideas. These ideas are not actually, when they are generated, not in rational forms or systematic fashions, they are in abstract in natures. So, when we bring logic into those ideas, we utilize our intellect, and that is then you connect them. So, that interconnection brings creative ideas. So, this is how it holds interconnectivity among people, also in organizations. So, therefore, the power of intuition is very important in the exercise of emotionally intelligent leadership. So, this can be also practiced. Listen to the voice of your heart, meditate and reflect on your inner self at least 10 minutes. Many times what happens, there is a famous song that is sung by Udit Narayan and Alka Yagnik. There is a film called known as Akele Hum and Akele Tum. In Bollywood films, there is a song, with some misunderstanding. Yes, due to some misunderstandings, the hero heroine departs from each others, and when they remember each others, then the heroine wants to meet the hero. Hero also wants to, and they now singing that. Dil, that is a situation like they are trying to express dil chahta hai lekin dimag mana kar raha hai. So, that means your heart is saying, your intuitive You are listening to your intuition that you go and meet your partner, but your head said, no, he has abandoned me, I will not go to him. So the heart is very, the head is very hard in taking decisions, but heart does not approve it. Then finally heart says, no, irrespective of this consequence, let's go and meet, because overall he is my friend and my life partner. So this kind of inner dialogue leads to better solutions. Then determine the attitudes that bring honor and character in society, uncompromising adherence to deeply held values. Build connection with organizations that facilitates thinking and working on issues which transcends immediate industries and work spheres. Spirit of inquiry beyond the usual. Work on keeping your ego out, processing information objectively and unbiased. The moment you bring ego into your analysis and reasoning, you will be irrational, you will be biased. So that should be kept away. Read the book on history and philosophy or supernatural aspects of becoming, and embrace wisdom with humility. Humility is one of the the rare quality that needs to be nurtured in order to become emotionally intelligent in organization. And process the information to define what is the next value, what we call openness to unknown, with a serious curiosity. Curiosity can encourage a lot of many novel ideas, and that can also embrace many changes. So these are some of the power of intuition. If practiced, one can exercise the characteristics of emotional intelligence. So this is in a nutshell about different features and connecting EI to leadership. And after going to these leadership lessons along with emotional intelligence, you will be able to identify 10 EQ skills necessary for effective leadership, and you can also examine how does EI nurture motivational leaders in organizations. So this is in a nutshell about emotional intelligence and leadership effectiveness. Thank you very much.